Hi there, this is Mrs. Tellas. Just going to go over section 4.1, which is writing and reading linear inequations in slope-intercept form. So we're going to do slope-intercept form review, and we're going to find the b or the y-intercept when given 2 points. All right, so the question says, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept for each graph? So this is from chapter 3. We just finished testing over that. If you haven't taken that test, you need to take it. So, because right now it's in there as a 0 if you haven't taken it. So the b is where the line crosses the y-axis. So it crosses right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. b equals 4, or the y-intercept. It's the same thing. And then my slope is how many up and how many over. So up 1 and right 2. So my slope is 1 over 2. So press pause and you try this one. Come up with the slope, which is the m, and come up with the y-intercept, or the b. All right, so my y-intercept is right here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my b is 6. And my slope is down and over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, down. Since I went down, that's negative 4. And then over 1. So my slope is negative 4 over 1. All right, so y equals mx plus b. We did some of this in chapter 3. We're going to do some more today. So the m number is right in front of the x every single time. It's a number, and that stands for the slope. And the b is after the x, and that stands for where the line crosses the y-axis, or the y-intercept. So if I write the equation of the line using slope-intercept form, the slope is my m, and the y-intercept is my b. So if I use the equation mx plus b, I'm going to put the 5 in for m and the negative 6 in for b. So my slope is 5 and my y-intercept is 6. So y equals 5x minus 6. Okay, so on the second one, slope is 2 and the y-intercept is 12. So the equation is y equals 2x plus 12. And then the last one, the slope is negative 3/4, the m is, and the y-intercept, or the b, is negative 8. So y equals negative 8, negative 3/4 x. Let's change that. And then minus 8. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing we did on the first page. We're just going to go ahead and go a step further. We found the slope and the y-intercept, or the m and the b, and we're going to put them into the equation. So the y-intercept is 1, 2, 3, negative 4. So it's right there. So b is negative 4. And my slope is how many up and how many over. Up means positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. So my slope is 5 over 2. So now I can write the equation like I just did on the last page. So the 5 over 2 will go in for m, and the negative 4 will go in for b. So my final answer is y equals 5 over 2x minus 4. Okay, you press pause and try this one, please. Okay, so my b here is positive 1. It's right there on that going up 1. And then my slope is down and over. Down meaning negative. 1, 2. So my slope is negative 2 over 1, 2, 3. So with these two pieces of information, I can write it. So y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1 is my answer. There's several of those on the worksheet. So I'm going to let you go ahead and give the worksheet a try here in just a minute. Okay, so now we're going to learn how to do this when they don't give us a graph and they just give us the 2 points. So we have to use slope formula because we still need an m and we still need a b. So we can plug them into y equals mx plus b. They don't give us a picture, so we have to come up with it a different way. So I'm going to use slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I label these, same, that's a 1, not a 2. Let's change that. Since that's the first ordered pair, it's x1, y1. And since it's the second ordered pair, it's x2, y2. So remember, I'm just subtracting the back point minus the front point. So 0 minus 6. The y's go in the numerator or on top. 0 minus 6. The minus comes from the formula. And then 2 minus 0. Then I put these into decimals. So 0 minus 6 is negative 6, and 2 minus 0 is 2. And that simplifies to negative 3. So my slope is negative 3. And we're already given the b. We're given the b in the point. So if I were to graph this, 2 zeros over here and 0, 6 is up here. And it crosses the y-axis at 6. So my b is 6. So now I can write the equation. Y equals negative 3x plus 6. This is my answer. All right, let's try this one. So we're going to come up with the slope first. We're going to use y2 minus y1. So 10 minus 1 is in the numerator, and 0 minus 3 is in the denominator. So that's 9 over negative 3. My slope is negative 3. So I already have part of it. Now I just need the y-intercept. So this point gives me the y-intercept, because if I graphed it, it would be up 10. It would be crossing the y-axis at 10. Therefore, the b is 10. So my equation is y equals negative 3x plus 10. Okay, you press pause and try this one and see if you can come up with it. So first thing I'm going to do is find the slope. So negative 8 minus negative 7. Remember, this negative comes from the formula. And then 0 minus 5. So if I put that into decimals, the top number is negative 1 and the bottom number is negative 5. So my slope is 1/5, because two negatives make a positive when I'm dividing. And the y-intercept comes from this point where 0 is x. That y right there is the b. So the b, or the y-intercept, is negative 8. So my equation is 1/5 x minus 8. Okay, same thing here. Write an equation of the line that passes through the given points. Well, 0, 7, so that's my b. And my slope, negative 6 minus 7 over 4 minus 0. So that's negative 13 over 4. That's my slope. We already decided the b was 7. So my equation is y equals negative 13 over 4x plus 7. Okay, a plumber charges a $65 fee for a repair plus $35 per hour. Write an equation to model the total cost y of a repair that takes x hours. Okay, so we're going to write it in slope-intercept form. Again, for slope, we look for words like per, each, or every. These are our multiply words. We also look for time, because slope seems to always be in respect to time. So you notice how this is $35 per hour. That means that for each hour that the plumber is there, he charges you more money. So an additional $35. So $35 is the slope, because that changes with how long the plumber stays. And just to show up at your house, the plumber charges $65. That is your starting amount that he charges you. So then your equation would be y equals 35x, because that's my slope, or my m, plus 65. Okay, I know that y equals total cost because it says so right here. And I know that x equals hours because it says so right here in the words. If he spends 9 hours at my house, what I do is I use this equation that we just came up with, and I put 9 in for x because that's hours. So right here, instead of putting x, I'm going to put 9. And then I'm just going to use my computer or my calculator. So 35 times 9 plus 65. So this I would owe the plumber $380. Okay, so I took that 9 and I put it in place of x because that was hours. Okay, 9 hours goes right there. And then I figure out the math. Okay, these are the same thing. They're not any different. They're just written funny. They're written in function notation. But this point right here is just 0, negative 5, And this point right here is 634. These are done the exact same way, they're just written weird. So if I find the slope, I would do 34 minus -5 and 6 minus 0. So this is 39 over 6, and that simplifies to 13 over 2 if you stick this into decimals. So my equation is 13 over 2. And I know what the b is because I have a 0 number, 0, -5. Where x is 0, that y is the b. So my b is -5. So my equation is y equals 13 over 2x minus 5. Okay, so these aren't any different. These points are 0, 9, 8, 7, and I would go through the exact same process. So I hope you understand what to do now for each section on the worksheet. If you have any questions, email me, please, or you can join the Google Meet during the class period. We're doing a Google Meet now every class period, so you can get live instruction if you want it. So take care and have a good day.